Okay, let's unpack this. We've all seen the claws. We know the snarl.
We do.
For what, the better part of 25 years, Hugh Jackman has been, well, he's been Wolverine.
Intrinsically linked. I mean, it is arguably one of the most successful and enduring single-character portrayals in cinema history.
And that right there is the challenge for us today, isn't it?
It's the immediate challenge, because if you only see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, you miss the profound strategic brilliance of his career. You miss the fact that the man who had to bench press over 300 pounds to play an anti-hero is also a dual Tony Award winner.
Right.
And was nominated for an Oscar for singing live in a period musical, and is a dedicated global philanthropist who built a coffee empire on a zero profit for me model.
Exactly. So our mission today is to move past that adamantium shell.
To uncover the versatile, strategic, and deeply committed artist that is Hugh Michael Jackman.
We're going to explore how an Australian kid who originally wanted to be a chef on a plane
I love that detail.
executed a career path that strategically balanced the physical demands of blockbusters with the high-stakes emotional commitment of live theater.
A path that has placed him tantalizingly close to achieving one of the entertainment industry's most difficult feats, egotee status.
And when you look at his actual achievements outside the X-Men universe, the resume is almost intimidating.
It really is. He has a Primetime Emmy, a Grammy, and 2 Tony Awards.
And then there are the nominations for the final pieces of that puzzle, an Academy Award and a BAFTA.
Crucially, this success is also recognized by his home country. In 2019, he was appointed a Companion of the Order of Australia.
Which is a massive national honor.
A huge deal. And it wasn't just for acting. The citation specifically mentions his eminent service to the performing arts and to the global community, particularly as an advocate for poverty eradication.
So he's not just a performer. He's seen as a powerful cultural and social force.
And it all speaks to a performer who just never allowed Hollywood success to limit his dedication to the crafts he trained for.
To understand how he juggled all of that, the cinematic epic with the intimate stage performance, we have to start where his foundation was poured.
Sydney, the UK, and the crucial early decisions that prioritize skill over, quick fame.
So let's go back to Sydney, New South Wales. He was born there on October 12, 1968. Now, while he is this ultimate Australian export, his immediate family background is, it's surprisingly British.
That's right. His parents, Grace McNeil and Christopher John Jackman, who was a Cambridge-educated accountant, were both British.
And they'd moved to Australia just the year before he was born in 1967.
They did, as part of what was known as the 10-pound palms scheme.
Wait, 10-pound palms. That sounds incredibly specific. For anyone listening who might not be familiar, what exactly was that?
It's a great piece of Commonwealth history. After World War II, Australia really wanted to increase its population, and the UK was encouraging emigration. So the 10-pound palms were British citizens who could immigrate to Australia for a fee of just 10 pounds.
10 pounds.
Yep. Just 10 pounds sterling, which basically covered the administrative costs of the voyage. It was an assisted passage scheme.
That context really explains why he holds dual Australian and British citizenship by birthright. His parents made this huge move.
A huge move, seeking a new life. And while they settled in Australia, there's another layer of heritage that's often missed.
Oh.
On his paternal side, one of his great-grandfathers, Nicholas Isidore Bellas, was Greek. He originated from the Ottoman Empire, which is now modern Greece.
So you have this really rich mixture, the pragmatic British migration, the full embrace of an Australian identity, and this touch of Mediterranean ancestry.
Exactly.
Now, in terms of his childhood, the source material notes his parents were devout Christians, converted by Billy Graham.
Right.
But his early life was shaped pretty significantly by his parents' divorce when he was just 8 years old.
And that event forced a profound shift. He stayed in Australia with his father and his 2 older brothers, while his mother went back to England with his 2 sisters.
So his father raised him and his brothers pretty much single-handedly.
For those formative years, yes. His core stability really came from his father in their Australian home. He later gained a younger half-sister from his mother's remarriage, but that early period was very male-dominated.
I find his early ambitions so relatable for a kid. He wasn't some precocious theater kid. He loved the outdoors camping, the beach, rugby.
And his first documented career goal was charmingly specific.
He wanted to be a chef on a plane.
A chef on a plane. He said he liked the idea of travel, and having flown once, he just presumed there was a real chef in the galley making the food.
It speaks to a desire for, I don't know, Structure and logistics, not the spotlight.
It really does. And that grounding leads us into his academic path. He attended Knox Grammar School, an all-boys school in Sydney.
Where he did star in My Fair Lady in 1985.
He did, and he was school captain in 1986. But after that, he took a gap year in 1987, and he went back to England to teach physical education at Uppingham School.
So this is a path that looks like it's leading toward, what, business, education? A classically professional track.
Exactly. He then went to the University of Technology, Sydney, and got a BA in communications, graduating in 1991.
But it was during this very non-performing time that his entire path was rerouted.
Yeah.
He was looking for extra credits in his final year, and almost on a whim, he took a drama course.
And that was the turning point. He starred in Václav Havel's play, The Memorandum, as part of that course, and it was this immediate, profound realization for him.
He said that in that 1 week of performance, he felt more at home with those people than I did in the entire 3 years at university.
The stage wasn't just a subject, it was where he belonged.
And what's fascinating is the courage it must have taken to pivot completely after getting a solid BA.
Well, he recognized that the prevailing idea at his school had always been that drama was just something to round out the man.
Not what you did for a living.
Not at all. So he had to actively reject that idea of success. After his degree, he didn't get a corporate job. He completed the 1-year The Journey course at the Actors Center in Sydney.
He was fully committing to training.
Which culminates in maybe the most crucial early career choice he made, one that just speaks volumes about his long-term strategy.
He was offered a role on Neighbours.
That's right. And for listeners outside Australia, Neighbours was and is a massive soap opera, the kind of guaranteed platform that launched careers like Kylie Minogue and Russell Crowe.
Accepting that would have meant instant fame, stable income.
Across Australia and the UK, it was a golden ticket.
And he turned it down. Wasn't that an incredibly risky, almost foolish move for a young actor?
Short term, yes, it looked foolish. But long term, it was a brilliant strategic move.
Why do you say that?
Because he rejected immediate celebrity to pursue deep, comprehensive training at the Western Australian Academy of Performing Arts WAPA in Perth. He graduated in '94.
So he chose more school over a starring role.
He chose craft over celebrity. That decision signals that his ultimate goal wasn't just to be seen. It was to be capable of handling complex roles across any platform. He was aiming for respect, not just fame.
And that WAPA training paid off immediately. The story goes that on the very night of his final Academy performance, he gets a call offering him his first major job.
The 10-part drama series Corelli. He famously said he was unemployed for 13 seconds.
That show became foundational for him in 2 ways.
Right. First, it was his professional entry. Second, and maybe more importantly, it's where he met his co-star and future wife, Deborah Lee Furness.
He often said, meeting my wife was the greatest thing to come out of it.
The show itself only lasted 1 season, but that personal connection really cemented the next 3 decades of his life.
After Corelli, he wasted no time diving right back into the stage.
Which shows that early commitment to the dual career path. He found immediate success in Australian musical theater.
He played Gaston in Beauty and the Beast in '95.
And the next year, Joe Gillis in Sunset Boulevard in Melbourne. Those were the proving grounds.
And those roles led to international recognition. In 1998, he crossed the pond to London's West End.
Playing the lead, Curly McLean, in the Royal National Theatre's revival of Oklahoma.
And that's where he got his first major international notice, right? An Olivier Award nomination.
For Best Actor in a Musical, yes. That West End success was the validation for all that training.
But then, in 2000, everything changes dramatically with a last-minute casting decision.
One that would define his public identity for decades.
The role of Wolverine in Bryan Singer's X-Men.
It's a great piece of trivia that he only got the part because Russell Crowe, who was the first choice, suggested Jackman instead.
And the irony is just so thick. His wife, Deborah Lee Furness, actually advised him against taking it.
She thought the idea of playing a clawed, angry mutant was ridiculous.
Imagine, nearly rejecting Wolverine.
It just proves that sometimes the biggest successes look ridiculous on paper. But he took it, and his performance won him a Saturn Award for Best Actor for that very first film.
So critics immediately saw the depth he brought to it.
They did.
Let's talk about that depth, because Wolverine was a huge acting challenge. The character's so closed off, minimal dialogue.
He had to become a student of screen presence. He studied actors known for conveying emotion with few words.
Namely, Clint Eastwood in the Dirty Harry films.
And Mel Gibson in Mad Max 2. He focused on creating that deep emotional resonance without relying on heavy exposition, a totally different skill set from musical theater.
And the physical prep went beyond just the gym. He was aiming for something primal.
He specifically studied Mike Tyson's early fights to channel what he called animal rage.
And he insisted on doing his own stunts, which is why he's admitted to having scars and punctures over the years.
That commitment to realism is what made the performance stick.
Now let's get to the most delicious logistical challenge of this whole thing. The height.
Ah, yes, the height discrepancy. This is a classic aha detail in filmmaking.
Jackman is 6'2". In the comics, Wolverine is notoriously short, about 5'3".
That is an enormous difference, nearly a foot.
11 inches taller than the source material. How on earth did they compensate for that?
Genuine visual trickery. They had to be so selective with camera angles, often shooting him only from the waist up to reduce his stature.
And I heard they made his co-stars wear platforms.
They did. They'd have other actors wear platform soles or stand on apple boxes to minimize the height difference. The fact that they went to all that trouble instead of just casting a shorter actor proves how impressed they were with him.
That sustained commitment is what allowed him to play the role from 2000 all the way to his return in 2024 for Deadpool and Wolverine.
At one point, it even earned him the Guinness World Record for the longest career as a live-action Marvel superhero.
But here's the key takeaway from this early period. While Wolverine exploded, he did not abandon his versatility.
Not at all. In 2001, he stars in the romantic comedy Kate and Leopold as a time-traveling duke. Gets his first Golden Globe nomination.
He was constantly reminding the industry, I do action, but I'm also a romantic lead.
And a dramatic actor. And the stage pull was just irresistible. In 2002, he makes his American stage debut singing in Carousel at Carnegie Hall.
Which quickly led to his true Broadway breakthrough.
The Triumph. Portraying Australian songwriter Peter Allen in The Boy from Oz.
For that performance, in 2003 and 2004, he won both the Tony and the Drama Desk Award for Outstanding Actor in a Musical.
And that was the watershed moment. He secured the highest honor in American theater while being one of the biggest action stars on the planet.
That theater success made him a TV celebrity, too. He hosted the Tonys 3 times in a row.
2003, 2004, and 2005. And his hosting in 2004 specifically earned him a Primetime Emmy.
An Emmy for hosting the Tonys.
So by 2004, he has a competitive Tony and an Emmy. He's already in the EGOT conversation, and the sheer pace is staggering. He's starring as Van Helsing in the same year. He wasn't resting, he was aggressively diversifying.
Okay, moving into the mid-2000s, this is where we see his strategic maturity really kick in. Jackman is massive globally, which means he's getting the highest profile offers.
Including the one that saw a certain type of leading man, James Bond.
Yes. He was asked to consider the role of James Bond just before Daniel Craig was chosen.
And the conventional wisdom is, you say yes to Bond. It's instant, lasting iconography.
But he declined. Why would an actor turn down arguably the most famous fictional character in cinema history?
His reasoning was incredibly insightful. He was about to shoot X-Men 2, and he explicitly said he didn't want to play 2 such iconic, demanding characters at the same time.
He saw it as overexposure.
And a risk to his brand. He chose to protect his unique, complex, mutant character over the clean, suit-and-tie image of Bond. It was a profound, long-term career decision.
So instead of Bond, his choices show this dedication to prestige directors and dramatic depth.
Absolutely. The key film here is Christopher Nolan's 2006 thriller, The Prestige.
Starring opposite Christian Bale, he played Robert Angier, a magician obsessed with rivalry.
And that role demanded such subtlety. To prepare, Jackman studied the performance style of a 1950s American magician named Channing Pollock to give Angier an authentic theatrical flourish.
It was critically acclaimed, and it really solidified his place in non-superhero A-list Hollywood.
But he didn't stop there. He dove into what was arguably his most complex and emotionally challenging film to date.
Darren Aronofsky's science fiction epic, The Fountain.
The Fountain is not an easy film. It's conceptually dense. Themes of mortality, obsession.
And he played 3 separate characters across 3 timelines. A modern neuroscientist, a 16th century conquistador,
and a 26th century astronaut. That requires immense emotional range.
He called it his most difficult film thus far. Why was it so demanding?
It wasn't just physical, it was the emotional weight of embodying the same man, driven by the same obsession to save the woman he loves, through vastly different historical lenses.
He was tracking one emotional thread across 500 years.
And he made the strategic choice to seek out that heavy material precisely because it challenged the audience's perception of him as just Wolverine.
And just to prove he could swing the pendulum wildly,
Right.
in the same year, 2006, he's also in Woody Allen's Scoop.
And he's doing voice work. Memphis the Penguin in Happy Feet and Roddy the Rat in Flushed Away.
It's the definition of a portfolio career. Action, prestige drama, intellectual sci-fi, comedy, animation, all in the same 12-month period.
It's incredible.
We should pause briefly on his foray into production during this time. He co-founded Seed Productions in 2005.
Yes, with his longtime assistant, John Palermo, and his wife, Deborah Lee Furness.
And their first attempt was, well, a quick failure.
Viva Laughlin, a musical dramedy series on CBS in 2007, was canceled after just 2 episodes.
A good reminder that not every venture succeeds.
But the learning curve in producing informed his later, more successful projects.
Moving into 2008, he returned to massive scale with Baz Luhrmann's epic Australia, co-starring Nicole Kidman.
Another case where he replaced Russell Crowe. This is a passion project for him. He called it a shamelessly old-fashioned romantic epic.
It was a chance to embody a classic Australian cowboy archetype.
It was, and that coincided with People magazine naming him Sexiest Man Alive, which cemented his status as a global heartthrob.
And his profile was so high that in 2009, he got the ultimate hosting gig, the 81st Academy Awards.
But what's so fascinating is that while he's reaching these global cinematic peaks, the stage just keeps calling him back.
The magnet is powerful.
It is. In 2009, he co-starred in a limited engagement play, A Steady Rain, on Broadway. And his co-star, ironically, was the man who took the Bond role, Daniel Craig.
That pairing was a huge event. And by 2011, he decided to consolidate his love for the stage into a very personal format.
The one-man show. It started in San Francisco and then moved to New York as Hugh Jackman, back on Broadway.
And this was more than just a concert. It was a retrospective with music from Oklahoma and The Boy from Oz, backed by his 17-piece orchestra.
Crucially, he used slideshows of his life and encouraged direct audience interaction. It was a sophisticated way of acknowledging his movie star fame while insisting on the intimacy and rigor of live performance.
It's that perfect feedback loop, isn't it? Wolverine allows him to fund and execute his deepest passion, which is the stage.
Exactly. He uses the power of the blockbuster to draw the audience in, and then uses that platform to do the challenging, nuanced work of live theater.
So this period, starting around 2012, this is where he achieves his biggest critical success outside of Broadway.
Thanks to Tom Hooper's cinematic adaptation of the epic musical, Les Misérables.
His portrayal of Jean Valjean was a tour de force, one that required immense dedication.
Oh, grueling physical transformation. To show Valjean's early suffering, he lost 15 pounds to appear gaunt and desperate.
And then he had to regain a full 30 pounds to reflect his character's success and stability later in life.
That's a 45-pound variance for a single role. It just speaks to his total absorption into the character.
But the true challenge of Léo Jaff was the requirement to sing live on set.
Which is hugely rare in Hollywood musicals. Vocals are almost always pre-recorded.
Singing live, often in difficult physical conditions, added this unparalleled layer of emotional vulnerability.
And that commitment paid off. In January 2013, he wins the Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Musical or Comedy.
And more importantly for the EGOT status, he received his first Academy Award nomination for Best Actor.
That nomination placed him squarely in the realm of cinematic legend.
And yet, even as he's preparing for Oscar season, he's maintaining his commitment to the cause.
He returns for the Wolverine in 2013, then appearances in Days of Future Past and Apocalypse. But the intended capstone of his superhero career came in 2017.
With Logan.
And Logan wasn't just a successful sequel, it was a critical triumph. It redefined what a superhero movie could be.
It was intended to be his farewell, marking a 17-year span, and it's now regarded as one of the greatest superhero films of all time.
Absolutely. He topped The Hollywood Reporter's greatest superhero movie performances list for the role. It moved the performance beyond genre into genuine dramatic mastery, a perfect exit.
A perfect exit, we thought, and yet the siren song of the Marvel Cinematic Universe proved too strong.
The unexpected reprisal in 2024 for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Which forced a 55-year-old actor to undergo the same intense physical regimen he first started 2 decades earlier.
And the updates he gave on his training are fascinating. He said that while he was thrilled his body was still responding, the hardest part wasn't the workout.
It was food intake.
As a self-described naturally skinny person, he said he had to eat constantly to maintain the required size. He said, "That's the bit that does my head in."
A great insight into the relentless grind required. It's not just the weights, it's the massive caloric input.
Simultaneously, while he's preparing to slice things up, he's leading another massive musical phenomenon, The Greatest Showman in 2017.
Where he starred as P.T. Barnum. That film was a genuine cultural moment. The soundtrack dominated the charts.
It earned him his third Golden Globe nomination, but the award that came with it is the crucial piece for his ego status.
The Grammy Award.
Correct. For the soundtrack, he won the Grammy Award for Best Compilation Soundtrack for Visual Media in 2019.
With that Grammy secured, his ego collection became formidable. Emmy, Grammy, and Tony. He holds 3 of the 4.
Capitalizing on that success, he expanded his intimate stage show into a massive global concert tour.
The Man, the Music, the Show in 2019.
A huge tour. 88 shows across North America, Europe, and Oceania. It demonstrated his unique position. A massive movie star capable of selling out arenas based entirely on his stage and musical talent.
In between the musicals and the claws, he also took on serious political drama, playing Senator Gary Hart in The Frontrunner in 2018.
And then, in 2022, his dedication to heavy material continued with the film The Sun, which focuses on severe mental health issues.
A performance that earned him his 4th Golden Globe nomination.
Despite all those demands, the stage always retains its magnetic pull. He returned to Broadway again, starring as Harold Hill in the revival of The Music Man.
From 2021 to 2023, a massive commercial success.
And his performance earned him his 2nd competitive Tony nomination. He continually returns to Broadway, not as a side project, but as a defining commitment.
And linking all of this together, in 2019, he's appointed a Companion of the Order of Australia, recognizing his service to the arts and his advocacy for poverty eradication, which is the perfect segue to understanding the man behind the roles.
This section, for me, reveals the depth of character that enables such a complex public career. He's defined not just by his roles, but by his approach to business, his deep commitment to social justice, and his personal foundations.
Let's look at the business side first. While his production company, Seed Productions, had early stumbles, the structure of it reveals a crucial trait.
Yes. Co-founded with his longtime assistant and his wife, the partnership was founded on deep trust and collaboration. He appreciates that dynamic, recognizing that they all bring different strengths to the table.
Beyond production, his visibility is maintained through global brand ambassadorships, Mont Blanc and R.M. Williams boots.
Keeping that Australian connection visible and profitable, but the real insight into his values comes from his profound, long-term dedication to philanthropy.
Particularly the fight against poverty. He's been a relentless proponent of microcredit.
Small loans to entrepreneurs in impoverished countries. This isn't a trendy cause. It's a focused commitment to sustainable change.
He champions the microcredit pioneer and Nobel winner, Muhammad Yunus.
He believes deeply in the dignity of empowering individuals. And he backs this up with personal action, serving as a global advisor for the Global Poverty Project, even narrating a documentary for them.
He also uses his personal wealth. In 2009, he donated $100,000 split between charity, water, and Operation of Hope.
And his commitment to his own professional community is remarkable. That partnership with Daniel Craig during a steady rain turned into a legendary fundraising operation.
For Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. They used curtain appeals during that run to raise over $1.5 million.
And then Jackman continued that solo during his Back on Broadway run, raising nearly another $1 million. That level of commitment to the health of the theater community is truly exceptional.
Now let's talk about the most visible part of his philanthropic drive. Laughing Man Coffee.
This is not a celebrity side hustle. The entire business model is radical.
It has a really personal origin story, doesn't it?
A beautiful one. In 2009, he took a trip to Ethiopia for World Vision and met a fair trade coffee farmer named Duke Culley. Jackman was so moved by his spirit that it inspired him to create a business model dedicated to him.
He launched Laughing Man Coffee in 2011. So what makes the financial structure so unique?
The core mission is non-negotiable. All profits from the coffee go directly to the Laughing Man Foundation.
All of them.
100%. The foundation then supports educational programs and community development globally. He created a self-sustaining engine for social justice from that one encounter.
Moving to his personal life, we have to look at the foundation of stability that carried him through his career. his marriage to Deborah Lee Furness.
They met on Corelli and married in 1996. The romantic details are charming, like their wedding rings bearing a Sanskrit inscription, "We dedicate our union to a greater source."
After Furness suffered 2 miscarriages, they chose adoption, building their family with 2 children. For a long time, they were famously one of Hollywood's most stable couples.
That stability, however, came to an end. They announced their separation in September 2023, and their divorce was finalized in June 2025.
And the sources note that as of 2025, he is in a relationship with The Music Man co-star, Sutton Foster.
We also have to address his critical health advocacy. Since November 2013, he has faced multiple basal cell carcinoma diagnoses, skin cancer,
requiring multiple procedures to remove them from his nose.
And he's turned this personal struggle into a public health campaign. He uses his massive social media platform to constantly urge his followers to wear high SPF sunscreen, regardless of the season.
He uses his own vulnerability to promote a crucial message.
Finally, let's discuss the quiet internal engine that allows him to sustain this loud, demanding career, his spirituality and philosophy.
This is the bedrock that allows him to play both a rage-filled mutant and a dedicated father.
He was raised Christian and still identified as Christian, but he's noted that he finds the evangelical church too restrictive.
He seeks a more open, continuous form of spiritual learning.
Which is why he's been a committed member of the spiritually eclectic school of practical philosophy since 1992. And perhaps most critically, he is a dedicated practitioner of transcendental meditation.
He's practiced it daily since he was 20.
This is a decades-long commitment. He's openly said, "Nothing has ever opened my eyes like transcendental meditation has. It makes me calm and happy."
For a performer whose life is defined by high-pressure opening a massive Broadway show, filming a blockbuster, that daily commitment to internal peace is the ultimate strategic tool.
It absolutely is. Beyond the spiritual, he's a dedicated sportsman. Rugby, cricket, kayaking. He even once appeared on WWE Monday Night Raw and punched a wrestler.
He truly is impossible to categorize.
Plays the guitar, piano, and violin. The common thread isn't action star or musical star, but a profound commitment to mastering any craft he attempts.
Which brings us to the ultimate synthesis of his artistic commitment, the legendary EGOT status. As a reminder, EGO stands for Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony.
A clean sweep of the 4 major American Entertainment Awards. And Jackman is one of the few artists in history to receive nominations for all 4.
The premise of this deep dive was proving that his versatility was a strategic move. His standing in the EGOT race proves that. Let's review.
Okay. Starting with television.
Emmy. Check. He won in 2005 for hosting the 2004 Tony Awards, a win rooted in his theatrical performance skills.
Next, the music industry. Grammy. Check. He won in 2019 for the soundtrack to The Greatest Showman.
A massive commercial success. Okay, his beloved stage award.
Tony. Double check. This is where it gets interesting. He holds a competitive Tony Award, the 2004 award for Best Actor in a Musical for The Boy from Oz.
And he also has a special Tony Award from 2012.
Right, but the crucial element for EGT is that competitive win from 2004, so he has it.
Which leaves the big one, the film industry's highest honor.
Oscar Academy Award. Nominated. He received his first and only nomination to date for Best Actor in 2012 for his grueling, emotionally raw performance in Les Misérables.
So, to achieve the full EGOT, he needs one win, an Academy Award. But he is also on the verge of a related, even rarer achievement.
The Triple Crown of Acting.
Which requires winning competitive Emmy, Oscar, and Tony Awards, all for acting roles.
Right. Since he won his Emmy for hosting, not acting, and his Tony was for acting, if he were to win an Oscar for acting, he would achieve the Triple Crown of Acting while simultaneously completing his competitive EGOT.
He is walking the knife edge of entertainment immortality.
And this status isn't just luck, it's a direct result of his strategic brilliance. The Wolverine money allowed him the freedom to pursue the passion projects that provided the dramatic range necessary to get Oscar and Tony nominations. It's a perfectly executed, self-funding career feedback loop. What stands out when we connect all these sources is the sheer strategic brilliance of maintaining this contradiction.
He's a man who trained ruthlessly for years to be a rage-filled mutant, a cattle drover, and a time-traveling duke.
All while being a multi-Tony-winning Broadway star, a dedicated producer, and a global philanthropist whose coffee company donates all its profits.
His entire career is a testament to refusing to be defined by his highest-paying job. He could have easily coasted on the X-Men franchise, but he always sought out the deep emotional and physical demands of live theater.
His success doesn't just come from talent. It comes from balancing the enormous commercial demands of blockbusters with the deep, unyielding commitment of the stage and genuine social activism.
He treats both the popcorn entertainment and the intense dramatic pieces with the same level of profound commitment.
Which leads us back to the question of sustainability. How do you withstand the relentless pressure, the constant physical transformation, and the emotional toll?
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? We've seen that to sustain a loud, versatile, and physically demanding public career, something has to provide a quiet internal stability.
Given his stated preference for the freedom of his personal faith over the restrictions of a more organized one, and his decades-long commitment to daily meditation, consider this provocative final thought. Hugh Jackman has created his own internal anchor. His dedication to daily transcendental meditation isn't merely a hobby. It is the quiet, invisible engine that allows him to withstand the chaos, the physical demands, and the relentless emotional pressure required to perform at the highest level across 4 different media and stand on the verge of EGOT status. That sustained internal peace allows for the external versatility and dedication to endure.
Something profound to mull over the next time you see him transform, be it into a grizzled mutant or a charismatic showman.